Hello, and welcome to the part two of this little tutorial on how to do sweep. Now, the program that I'm using right now is a little 3DS program, and it's it's got some idiosyncrasies to it that you kind of have to get used to, but you'll find out that it does work exactly the same as almost any other sweep, any other 3D program that has the sweep tool in it. This is, remember the drawing that I just did over in AutoCAD. This is kind of reduced down where we have just one path and one object that we're going to sweep, and a few other locator lines in it that are, they can be rather important to this whole process. Is we're going to go ahead and bring that program through the process so that you can see this is what we'll end up with. We'll end up with this little extruded part here, kind of a pipe or a raft or whatever you want to call it. But there's our gap, and this is a 0.1 inch gap that is in this. And this thing would fit on my printer table if I wanted to print it, but I don't think it would. But anyway, let's get started, and I'll show you how we make this all happen. And I'll go ahead and just close this part window, and then we'll open a new one. And let's make a new part. The two things that, of course, you'll need for any sweep process is, and remember, we have to click on a plane and activate 2D Sketch. So let's go back to our drawing. Here's our drawing, and we need to bring this path, and we need to bring a center. That path is going to need to be located at a specific point in space. In my program, there's a reason for that, because we have to be able to locate where we're going to start our sweep, our object sweeping. And these measurements have to be basically right on in order to get any kind of precision out of it. So let's move this over, Control C for copy, and let's move it over into our 3D part. Control T, and there's our little part. There's our path. Let me put on snap, and bam, we snap right to it. And that's why I brought in this little locator circle, so that the object would snap directly right dead center. Now, as you can see, our path is set up to start right on that center line, right on that other plane. And as you can, I'll twist it around here, and you can see that's another plane entirely that's sitting there, the YZ plane, waiting to receive our object that we're going to start sweeping. Now, something that would be very helpful is another plane offset in order to perfectly locate where our sweep circle is, our sweep object is going to be put. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset that one plane right there. Let me go into part modeling, and we're going to pick that plane, and we just move it up. As it happens, it's 0.28 inches. And that puts it exactly where my start line is located in space. Now this is the plane that we're going to use, however, because we want to directly 90-degree face into our path. And so I'm going to pick this path right here. The YZ plane, rather, is what we're going to work with. So let me go back to activate sketch. And there it is. You can see that cross point right there is exactly where our object is going to start sweeping. So let me go back to the drawing and get our object that we're going to use to sweep. This is the object that'll sweep. Control C, we copy it. And let's go back into our part. Now Control T, and there is our object. Now we have to turn off the hard snap here, and let's go right in here and locate. You can see how it kind of gently snaps, even with the snap turned off, but it'll snap to a intersection. And there it is. Now our object is located right on that, as you can see, it's right on that center of that path. And it's ready, it's pretty much ready to go ahead and start sweeping. So let's go ahead and go into, we're going to hit sweep, and we'll get a dialog box. It says the sketch, that's the last sketch that we loaded, is already loaded, ready to go. And the question that's located in this highlighted box here, it says, what's the path? Tell us the path. So you can click on that path and give it to it. And there's no other questions being asked. The draft angle is 0, which means that we're located exactly 90 degrees perpendicular to the path. And the entire path is what we're going to extrude, and hit OK. And there it is. It takes off and just goes right down that path, and we have extruded that circle along that path. And you can see we got these tight little radiuses here in this corner right here. So our object radius was less than the radius of the path. And that's how it's done. And it'll work on just about anything as long as you remember those two rules, that your path has to be a start and an end. That means a gap if you're having some kind of a closed object. If this gap were too large, you know what I can do? I could take that same circle and extrude it that little distance right between these two and fill that in if I wanted to. I'd just do a straight extrude of 0.1. That's what that gap happens to be, 0.1 inches. And I can just do a straight extrude from here to here, and boom, it'll be closed. And that's not necessary though, because you can just do some very, very close gaps. The program doesn't care as long as you got some gap in there. That's all you have to remember. Oh, that, and that these radiuses are important. That your object has to have a smaller radius than your path. Once you do that, you can go anywhere you want in this extrude along a path. And it's a very, very important tool, because it can save you a tremendous amount of time trying to. Can you imagine trying to create all these little elbows and stuff and then glue them together and 3D and stuff? You can just draw one path and extrude along the path. Bam, you got it. Thank you for listening.